always just been like a reliable friend. You always count on for anything. Yeah, really warm these shoulders up for you, you know. Look at that little chump right now. Trying to sprint on in. Where you go that fast? Get on him like that. Nice of you to join us. Let's come join your, let's be a part of your video.
Thank you, my text.
Yeah, I got your text, Chuck. Well, that'll be a little bit harder. Try to get that split here now.
Yeah. I was looking at it last night on my picture.
Yeah. That's like, that's what I want the most. And then the feathers are starting to come in right here. The skin's starting to get real thin. Getting there. Better. I don't really feel it today so much. That's why they call them too quick. Gone in 2 seconds, went all the way out of the parking lot. Gee, that's fast as hell. Do you really care what I weigh or you care what I look like? Does it matter?
The way I look at it, freak's a freak.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Whether you're a big freak or just an aesthetic freak. Freak's a freak. Side and back.
I'm starting to get more deeper holds too.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be all the illusion, you know, the deeper separation, the bigger I'll look on stage.
You get those pics from last night?
Yeah, that's real cool. Thank you. Yeah. I like that bicep walk I'm kissing. It's funny as hell. Too high. Where you get the long ass arms from?
I put it out because that's what you started off at.
Yeah? Oh, they like look like I got some. Look how weird it looks here, here, and then I got this one in the middle. I got a nice heart for you. I just looking at that, that's a reverse heart. From here, and then you got it coming across this way. Right in the middle, upside down heart.
So instead of a heart-shaped booty, you got a heart-shaped.
I got heart-shaped titties. Excuse my language. Boo-boos. See, laughing, Lee. That's a trip. I just noticed that. All right, here we go.
Buttons on your chest. Eyes on my back.
Something has to motivate me when I feel skinny as. I feel all damn skinny, man. Something's good. I swear I do. I got this mind game, Troy. Come on. It's all a mind game. It's illusion, you big dummy. Let's go. Once, twice, three.
That way. It's a way to wake up.
Yeah. Coming for you, AC.
Who's that man?
It's starting to get a little grainier, huh? All the way up top. Oh, look at a little Christmas tree popping up on the lower back there. Yeah, I think go 5 this set and then we'll go quarter next set.
Yeah, Christmas tree coming on and it's not even December yet.
We all go through this, no matter what they look like or purely. It's always a mind game, mental game that you play with yourself. That's why I thank goodness I have Chris, because I'd be messing with myself right now thinking like, oh man, I gotta up the calories, gotta do this, do that. But Chris will be my eyes and he'll tell me we're fine, or we'll play with something at a meal here. But most of the time, 9 out of 10, he'll say we're fine. I'm just the one that's delirious, which is fine with me. We are the ones that play tricks with ourselves. 25.
25?
Are you trying to kill me?
I put on now already.
345? No.
It's the last set, isn't it?
No.
What you just get done saying is an illusion?
Yeah. It is a illusion. I was just thinking to myself right here, if I put my head back, get my eyes closed for a minute.
Fall asleep? Yeah, snap out of it.
I could fall asleep. Dead serious. Woo! Once. Twice. Let's go. Okay.
Let's go. Lightweight. Lightweight. Let's go.
I'm good. Hey!
Come on.
Hey! Hey!
Come on.
Ooh!
Good job.
Look at my leg was twitching. I was like, ooh! Stay with me on this, man.
Alright, let's go. Lightweight.
Once. Twice. Let's go.
Shit. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Hey!
Come on. One more.
Hey!
Come on. Push. That's all you do.
Woo! Hey! Yeah.
I wish I could tell you I helped you, but I didn't.
Woo! Oh. My trap. Ah. That's what I always trigger it every time I do these damn things. Damn it.
Get your head in place.
Every time, that's where, I know, but every time I go up. Here's right. Right. Down a little bit more. Put your elbow in there. You got little scary ass nails.
Get down there, bro. Your muscle too big.
Yeah. Every time it's like something about when I push with the. Shit. Thanks, Joe. What do you want to stay with?
Yes, sir.
Actually, that feels pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Should I put
I like it. You can do it.
Yeah? Doubles in more this way?
Yeah, you got it right when you finish it up here. We'll go 160.
Loving, man. Hey, try. Lightweight. I see that back there.
Bodybuilding here. I need somebody to stand in this mirror to make me seem like this ain't such a small mirror.
Chris.
You gotta come take your damn shirt off in this mirror so I can feel better. No, I'm just kidding. Serious.
Alright, sounds good.
Oh, yeah.
Watch right. Come on. Push it.
Big monster.
I'm trying to be like you, man.
Yo, big boy, let's just see you in this mirror, then I'll really get a feel. Because if you look kind of small in this mirror, then I know I'm all right. How come you tell me over here? You have a real dope machine? Yeah. Okay.
I just got off of work, man. Just came straight here. How you doing, man?
How come you all over there? This is where you could usually come to?
I'll come to both, man.
Oh, the one on 35th in here?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hey, let me see you in this big mirror over here. This small mirror over here. You're a big monster. I get if you got a feel for myself. You don't have to take your shirt off. I just want to see something. So I know how big I'm looking at you in person. Let me see. I don't feel so bad because you're a monster. And I don't feel so bad now because I'm looking at myself, I feel a little scale. But then when I look at you, then I can look at myself. Alright, not too bad. You're a giant again. Thank you.
What are you talking about, man?
I'm dead serious, man. You made me feel better now.
Man, you make me feel bad. I was in a little shot. All right, man.
Thank you, sir. Let me get my shirt.
I got you.
That's crazy. She was asking what that was.
It really changed. You got what? It's
Good. Nice. Good. Straight chin. All right. You know that's what's supposed to work. Ready? You know what? I think we do. Can we do a picture? This is my sexy right here.
There you go.
See, I'm friendly with everybody, even the lovely ladies here.
There you go.
Look how cute she is. And what is your name, man? Elvira, I love it. I'm Troy. Very nice to meet you. Cute outfit. You look very, very nice.
I'm working on that, but I don't know how many years it will take.
Oh, I think just about 6 more months.
There you go. I can do it. Nice to meet you.
You too, sweetheart. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay.
Over there.
All right. There's no faking here. This is how I train. Even in the off season, obviously I might do a little heavier weight, but this is how nonchalant I am. In between sets, I'm not putting on any show. This is me. Laugh, I'll talk between clients, in between sets. I'm kind of happy go easy in here. I'm not one of those guys that has to be like the mean face, walk around angry, talk to people. This is enjoyment. It's something we get paid for a living to do. We don't have to be angry in here and be mad at the world. This is who I am. This is who I'm always going to be. I'm not trying to impress anybody whatsoever. I am who I am, period. That's all, folks.
great.
What is that? Oh, are you seeing that, Bruce? That's some scary stuff. Woohoo! The glooty. Boom. Oh. Turn. Bam. It's coming, baby. It's coming. There's about 2 weeks left. Imagine that. Dialed in. It's all an illusion, like we just talked about. Imagine that illusion once we get super, super dry. By number, if we measure by number, I get blown away on what the scale says. But then you measure by dimensions, you're whipping some people's butts. Most of them guys that weigh a lot, the waists are about 5 inches bigger than mine too. People don't take that into effect. Oh, he's so big. Yeah, he's big. We got big old waist to go along with all that big. You know, how would I look 20 pounds bigger with my waist 3 or 4 inches bigger? You wouldn't be as impressed. They're like, yeah, he's got more size, but he also has a big waist. So I don't get caught up in that. Never will. But it still plays tricks on you. That's why I always say, like, if it does, stay off the scale. And Chris and I go by that. So I don't like to stay on there. Stay on there. If it's up to me, I'd stay off the whole time. You know, just as long as we look full and the condition is getting drier, that's all it takes. I like to be the lightest guy to win a show. Like, that would be more impressive than me than someone weighing 240 win a show. I'm beating these guys 245 and I could be whatever 212. That's like more rewarding, and then it gives people more hope. You don't have to just abuse your body to try to put all that size on. Just stay true to your game, stay true to your aesthetics and your physique. It's much prettier, I'm telling you. Much, much, much prettier. It's more pleasing to look at, you know, for more mainstream America. You can appreciate it more. If you just let the ego go about the scale, and we all get caught up into it, because believe me, I did. But I never allowed it to let me lose what my body was all about. I knew I wanted to put on more size, but I could not deal with at all my waist getting bigger. Couldn't function that way. So the size, yeah, it was somewhat important, but not important enough for me to make my waist get any bigger. Never, never. And I'm glad I stuck to my game. So if I can give any of you guys advice, stick to your body type. You look at your genetics, look at your genetic makeup, your structure. If you're a thick bone, bigger bone guy, then obviously you go for more size, you go for the more mass. That's your body type. But if you got small joints, round muscle belly, stick to you. Believe me, it's way more impressive, and it jumps out on stage. No one's going to ask you how much you weigh on stage. It really makes a huge, huge, huge difference when you have those little tiny joints and you're just dry as a bone and you're so detailed. You look so much bigger than what the number says. You know, I see all these guys come off stage at the USAs and everybody else. I'm like, is that the same guy I just saw on stage that looks so impressive? Little tiny guy coming off the stage, but he looks so big on stage. It's all about. That wakes me up too. It just reminds me again, Troy, it's an illusion. So anyway, just wanted to make that clear to everybody out there. Stick to your body type. Kind of demonstrate with one of the guys here that's been a national competitor, who's competed for a while on kind of what we look for in posing. You know, as far as every physique is different, so no one's going to pose the same. So I'm going to give you a brief idea. I'm my man Robert here. I'm going to demonstrate, and then after I show you kind of like what I would be looking for, then I'll go ahead and show you my 2-week out look coming right after that. All right, Robert. All right. Basically, like, you know, you're going to have, like I said, you're going to have more aesthetic physiques, you're going to have more powerful physiques that are just going to be the bigger, bulkier style. Like a Jay Cutler is a massive kind of physique, so he can't do more shapely type of poses. So, but Robert's kind of that physique, like on the lines of mine. So what I would demonstrate is, like, I want Robert to show you just from a front relaxed point of view of what I would look for, and then I would try to critique what he's doing real quick. Now what he's got there is like what we're looking for. You're looking for shoulder to waist balance, and then you look for the overall conditioning, and then your overall depth of the muscle. You know, from what he's doing right there, there's really nothing to critique based on his physique right there. He looks pretty darn good. Let me see a quarter turn, Robert. Again, now we're looking for how his balance is from shoulder to shoulder, and then his obliques and how he demonstrates that. And then we're not seeing his legs, but then you want to look from the bottom up and see the balance of the physique. The only thing I would critique on him right here is he's dipping a little bit too much on his shoulder here. So what you want to do is open up, just like you were, get the chest up, and then lay this up here, so I can. So there you go. So what you're almost kind of doing is almost like a crunch and twist at the same time. I'll show you when I do it. Okay, go ahead and turn to the back, Robert. That's pretty good right there. There's really nothing to critique because you want to kind of, this shot, you want to show your width. This is what it's all about right here because you're not trying to express detail. You want to show your thickness and your overall width. And you want to show the waist to shoulder to lat taper, and then the sweep from the back with the hamstrings coming from the back. Okay, and one more quarter turn. Really nothing to critique again right there. That looks pretty good. Crunching down nice on his abs, chest is full. You want to kind of like lean in. A lot of people have a tendency to try to do this too much. You know, they dip their shoulder and they don't stay square and to keep their width open. Okay. All right, Robert, let's go with the from the front double by shots. Face me over here. Right there. That's pretty good right there. Now I don't see his legs again. That's where if I was going to critique anything, I would see the balance of his legs and how it flows with the rest of his physique. But right there it looks pretty good because the lat to waist looks pretty good. Sometimes you have to angle your hips or do a little twist here and there. Let me see if you shift your weight a little bit onto the back right hip, Robert. Yeah, just like that, and then hit the shot the same way. I almost like him better that way. And then if his left foot was out a little bit more. Yeah, because then he has a little bit more twist and a little bit more angle because that's what his physique is all about. Okay, and relax. And then front lat spread. And think about it, when you're doing every shot, you're being judged when you're doing your transition from pose to pose. You know, so you can't ever relax. Like if you relax with your stomach, even though you have a small waist, sometimes you relax, it kind of pushes out a little bit and makes you look like you got extended stomach, and you may not have that, but it shows that way. Now that's pretty good right there. The only thing I would do is just like when you relax a second, and when you hit that shot, start here. Well, I got all the pops going on my shoulder. Start with your chest up.
Too far back?
You're fine there, but just pick your chest up first. And then open up. And stay full right here. There you go. Now you close yourself off too much on, there you go. Open up the lat. Looks pretty good right there. You're laying back a little too much. Remember, I'm a judge looking down, looking up at you. That's pretty good. Now, if I was going to critique his physique, the only thing I would see that I would want him to improve on needs a little bit more development right here with a little bit more width on his lats. I think he could show it more if he wanted to, but I would say his upper chest is lacking a little bit right here. It's not that it's bad, but if there's anything he needed to fill out, it would be this area so it balances off shoulder to shoulder. See what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and do a side chest. That's pretty good. That side chest looks really good. I don't really see anything wrong with that because he's laying back. He's got his chest up. He's pushing his leg over. I can see. Just pull the waist in, blow the air out. There's nothing really to critique on that one. That looks pretty good. Okay, then let's hit the back double by. Now the only thing you're doing here is I would have you pick your chest up and arch right here with your traps back a little bit more. Right there. Bring out a little bit more detail. The width is good on that shot. The overall, that's a pretty pleasing shot right there too. Again, I would judge as a judge, I would judge from the ground up. Didn't see how he looks from the backside hamstring, because you know that's my name. So I know all you guys will be looking at my booty and hamstring, but everybody's fascinated with that. But that's how a judge kind of judges too. It looks from the ground up. Let me see your back lat spread. That's pretty good back. You've got nice width too. He's opening it up really nice. Overall flow, the waist is relatively small. That looks pretty good. Really no critique on that at all. And then let me see your abdominal thigh. There we go, the legs. Whoa. There we go. And good shot. That's it right there. Looks pretty good. Pretty good. You tired now, Robert? That was hard. You know I was gonna beat you up and make you sweat a little bit, huh? And then we just gotta let's do one more, just the side tricep shot. There's so many different ways you can hit the side tricep shot. Some people hit it like this. Some people rotate, some people do this. It depends. That looks pretty good. Now twist your body a little bit more. Keep that arm locked down and show them the striations on your chest here. There you go, without, and still open up at the same time. It's a lot to posing. You can see how he's sweating it out right there. It's almost harder than working out. It's that iso tension. That's not too bad right there either.
That's hard.
He's got to work a little bit on the flexibility because you see that he's having a harder time rotating here. He's stuck right here. So you got to just practice on that. But overall, he's got good dimensions and a good balance to his physique. And there's really not much to critique on him because he's got a good overall look. He's nothing that overpowers, but nothing that's a real strong weakness either. So he's got a good physique. There you go, Robert. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming out. You gotta go back to.
Hey, Troy, you've been great your whole career. It seems like this last year, you've really stepped it up and you're at a different level. What do you think took you to that next level?
To be honest with you, it was almost like, it reminded me of when I was at the USA. I was at that point where I had taken second 3 times in a row, and I was at that breaking point where it was just do or die. I said, you know, put everything into it, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It wasn't meant to be. And I was able to get that particular victory and get my pro card. But at the Ironman this year was my true wake-up call because, you know, I've been kind of going through the motions without realizing I was going through the motions, you know. You get accustomed to doing well and being respected, like being good conditioning, and you're always relatively going to be top 5 or, you know, someone that's going to be looked at. So I just kind of took it for granted without purposely taking it for granted. And it wasn't until the Ironman when I thought to myself, you know, I was in decent shape. I said, well, 6 weeks left, let me go ahead and see if I can go ahead and jump into the show. You can't jump into a pro show like that. You know, that was my cockiness or whatever you want to call it. I didn't think I was being cocky, but when you really look at it, I was being cocky. And the reality set in. When I got out there and got my butt whipped by people that I know I should have been beating, it was like, do or die here. Now this is either you're going to quit now or you're going to get it in gear for the next show. And things kind of came into play. I thank my man here, Carlos, because I got my store up and running, and you know, he took over, Carlos and Josh, and they helped me to be able to ease the tension off me for concentrating on this place so much. And that allowed me to stay focused for the next 2.5 months. That's all it took. It was for my head to be 100% into what I wanted to do. And I knew I had the ability to do well. It was just a matter of me focusing in on doing the little things that it took to get to the point where the judges were critiquing me on. You know, just getting that overall balance and overall conditioning to the entire physique. So I got that back, I got that fire back, and then, you know, after winning that show, it just took me to another level of focus and belief. You know, before I was going into every show thinking top 5 is a great accomplishment. Now I'm thinking about winning the show. You know, I don't think about top 5. I won't be satisfied with that. And I feel like I'm putting the work in. I like what I bring to the stage. I'm not competing against anybody else. I'm competing against me. I'm trying to beat my last competition. So that's my goal for this show, is to improve on what I brought in the last time. So last time I was really satisfied with overall. And this time I think what we're trying to do is just improve a little bit more on the quality with the quads and hamstrings, and a little bit more development, shoulder to waist, you know, so I think it'll be a little bit different look. So okay. I'm curious to see what happens.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Hey, what's going on, man? Yes, sir.
Do you ever see the sport rewarding the more symmetrical body, or is it always going to be the monster that kind of steps on the podium?
That's the exciting part. Because I think now, finally, and that's why I think my confidence has gone up tremendously, is because I think with Dexter winning, that was the best thing for the sport, because now they're starting to look at shape and aesthetics again. You know, it's not just the mass monster for the sake of mass. You know, it's like I respected those guys for bringing that mass. Ronnie did it up until he got too big, and then he started losing the aesthetics part. When he first turned pro, he was absolutely amazing. I mean, first won Olympia, he had perfect balance of muscle mass, symmetry, everything there. And he was freaky as can be in 2003, I think, when he was 280 something. And he still had relatively good lines for that. But over time, he just kept pushing and it just went too far. But now, with Dexter winning, I love the sport again as far as where they're going. You know, they're looking for a classier physique, and that's to my forte, because I've never got caught up in me trying to be the biggest guy on stage, because I'm too vain when it comes to my waist. So I'm not going to let that happen, you know. So it's like I stuck to my game, and I think now is my time to shine. So I feel like it's going to happen now. So especially when you're confident, it's where you are mentally. Now mentally, I'm really strong, where I just feel like as long as I put the work in, I know I'm going to be extremely competitive to have a chance to win each show that I enter. So I'm confident. So I'm going to go ahead and go through my quarter turns for you, what I would do on stage. For me, it's all about balance, shoulder to waist. You know, that's my physique. That's what it's all about. So that's the key for me as far as what I can get a little pump up, whatever. I know the first thing the judge is looking at is the top to bottom, you know, how I balance out from shoulder to waist. All right, here we go. My core front relax. Front double bicep. I pulls from the ground up. Side chest. Try to display my shoulders to waist and keep the abs tucked in tight as I pose. Because a lot of times you have a tendency as you pick your chest up, the abdominal cavity seems to go with it. So you want to try to concentrate on sucking in as you hit that shot. Back double by. You can clap.
Nice.
My favorite shot, side try. Hit it this way. I can hit you this way. Or like this. Then I'll give you abdominal thigh. And then my most muscular. That's my 2 weeks out condition. So my goal in the next 2 weeks is tighten this up, bring this in a little bit sharper to glute hamstring, bring that tie in a little bit deeper. It's all about an illusion for my body. So the deeper this is, the bigger I appear on stage. So it's never about my weight, because most of you probably wouldn't be able to guess my weight, but it's all about detail. You know, that's why it's so critical for me to not just here, but everywhere, to get as sharp and as crisp, as detailed and separated as possible. Because the illusion is so dramatic. You can put me next to a Jay Cutler who weighs 270, 265. And the only thing you'll notice different is his waist is bigger. But when we hit a shot, your eyes will probably be drawn to mine because I'm gonna have so much jumping out at you. Not just the mass, you're gonna have the detail coming with it. So that's my game, and I'm hoping it pays off for Atlantic City. Thank you. Atlantic City and then Olympia, bring back the old aesthetic physique back. So I appreciate everybody coming in and supporting me and coming down. I know you guys came from a long way. So thanks again for your support, and I'm gonna win it for Arizona. When I first started, I did a lot of low reps for everything. You know, the 6s, the 4s. Didn't know any better, but I wasn't thinking about being a bodybuilder. It was just about strength at that time and just trying to get a little bit bigger. I liked it because I liked what it was doing for me. I didn't get much more size, but I got strength. I was always really strong. But once I started getting into bodybuilding, I learned after, I don't know, a few years of training and getting a little bit more focus on it, because I didn't train legs for a long time. You know, just lifting casually. I was like everybody else in the gym. It was all about upper body, upper body, upper body. And once I got into legs, I started training it the same way with the low repetitions. When I figured out on my own, I think it's just because I went real heavy. I mean, my legs were strong, and I went real heavy one day, and I felt all the pain was just in my knees. I figured out as I was training, all I felt was the pain in my knee the entire time. Like when I was doing the heavy squats, I only weighed, like, at that particular time, about 180, somewhere around there, and I actually squatted 5.5 plates, and went down and did like 5 reps, and every single rep just killed my knees. I felt like nothing on my quads. It was just, my knees were just torqued, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So, and this is like before I was really into bodybuilding. I just knew it didn't make any sense. So I just figured at that point my body wasn't responding, my legs weren't getting bigger training that particular way. So I started to upper body responded always to medium to high reps. Like I can do 6 to 12s, and my upper body would always grow. And the legs, I learned pretty early in my career that that didn't work for me. Probably like 3 years in, that doing low reps, even though I was getting strong, just didn't, my legs didn't respond, wasn't getting any growth out of it. So I started doing everything for my legs no less than 10 reps. You know, it was just 10 to 15 to 20 reps on my legs. And it's volume, high volume, is getting a lot of blood pumped in the legs was where I got growth from. I still got growth with upper body doing 8 to 12s all the time. Never had to really change that way. But you got to learn that for yourself, and I did early. So anyway, that's how it is for me. Upper body, I could even still get big doing 6s on upper body to this day, but not on lower body. I have to keep it real high. A lot of blood. It's varied from show to show, but carbs, I've never been carb sensitive. As I've said before, I think in just brief, when we're in the gym or something like that, I've dieted with pasta all the way through to my show. And it doesn't affect me whatsoever. High glycemic, low side glycemic, it doesn't matter. Carbs, my body needs. Pre-contest, we kind of like set a number based on my conditioning and where I'm at. Actually, I couldn't even tell you last time, this time, how many carbs I actually take in. I really don't count them. I just know I'm supposed to eat them at this meal, this meal, this meal, this meal. when I look back now, I can tell you it's so simple with me that during this pre-contest that I'm doing, I do the 1 cup of rice, I do the 1 bagel, and I do the 2 scoops of volley roast. So I'm at 60, 93, 49, so whatever, 142. That's my carbs for the day. And I wouldn't have known that until I just actually thought about it. I'd never paid much mind to it. But it can vary. It can be, I've done diets early in my career where I've done 300 grams of carbs a day, on my own. When I was dieting on my own and got lean off of that. And so I can't say for me there's a set amount. Now that I'm a little older, I have to do a little bit less carbs to get, because I put on a little bit more muscle, so to get that thin skin again. It's relatively between 150, 125, 152 to 250. On my high days, I probably don't even go more than 250 now. And like I said, in the past, I've gone up to 350, 400. And I don't do a lot of, that's the one thing with my diet, I don't do a variation, a bunch of different carbs. It's either 1 or 2 different carbs, period. That's it for the day. Breakfast, and then a rice or a potato or a pasta. That's my other carb for the entire day. There's not like a pasta or there's a sweet potato or a rice here. No. I don't like to vary them because I want to know exactly what's working for me. When you have 2 or 3 different carbs, you don't know exactly how your body's responding to each one when it comes down to that last week, which is the most crucial week. So I like to know, just do 1 to 2 so I know exactly how to use it and how my body will respond to it. Protein, multivitamin, fat burner, EFAs. We spread those out on our low carb days. On the low carb days. What else do Value grow, post workout. That's about it that I have to have. I'll throw some other things in there at times, but all I need is like a fat burner, post workout, and protein, and multivitamin are have to haves. Euphoric. I was like, there's a lot to go into that. Went into that year, and I never said it in the magazine, but people like to say, if I don't win this one, it's it. I didn't want to put that out there like that. But in my mind, that was it. Because I didn't put everything I had into each and every show, where I just focused 100% on the show. And that year, I backed off my training, personal training, devoted a lot more, devoted all my time basically to preparing for that show. So that was do or die. It was like either you get it and it's meant to be, or it's not meant to be, because you put everything in, it's in God's hands, and just do what you can with it. But that feeling of having my name raised, because even today, Lonnie Teeper says I had the loudest crowd that was ever at the USA. I had so many people there for me, and it was just amazing how loud it was. And to have my hand raised, I just you look up at the man that got you there, and just like thank you. It's like my time. Because I always believed, without a doubt in my mind, that once I got out of the amateurs, I just need to get out of the amateurs. I know I'll be a solid, very good pro. I just need to get out. And so that relief of knowing that it's over, now I can go and compete as a pro, was the best feeling in the world. It was filled with excitement to get to the next level. Almost like it did at the USA, because again, I was in that same place. And it's weird, I have to get to that place before I actually take it up to that next level. It's sad. It shouldn't be that way, but that's what it took for me. I had to bottom out before I can appreciate where I'm at. You know, it's like, I'm a pro bodybuilder. You know, this is a gift. It's a blessing. You get to do this for a living. And I wasn't taking advantage of it. I was just kind of riding it out and just think, I never took it for granted, but in a way I did. And so after that letdown at the Ironman, which I still think was the best thing that could have happened to me, it made me refocus and get my mind to a different place. And I haven't had that feeling really ever as a pro, where I thought about winning a show. I always thought about being in top 5. That's a good, solid showing. You know, that was good enough for me. But right after that, you think that I would never be able to think that way after being on the bottom, looking like crap, that I thought about winning the next show. I didn't even know who was doing it, but I knew that I was taking myself to another place. I got back with Chris Aceto. After that, I told myself after that show I didn't allow myself to get too much weight back on me, excess body fat, and I just went into overdrive right there. And so by taking it to the level of it, was like, that was a feeling beyond a feeling. I can't explain it, because from bottom to the top in 3 months. It was at the end of January to the middle of April, February, March, April, 3 months to change that dramatically. And to win a pro show after placing 11th in a not so top show, was as far as competitor wise. And to hear your name, I remember the nervousness that I felt. I almost felt like a relief, because you don't know when you're on stage who really look. I mean, you know they're in good shape, but you don't know how they really look next to you. And I thought, because Darren had won shows so many times, that, you know, he was going to be the guy that was going to be the last 2 standing. But when they announced Darren third, I had this sense that this is it. You know, I'm going to win this show. And I kind of like almost had a release right then, but not until I heard my name. But I felt pretty good. And then when Heat Day was announced, I just like, yeah, threw my hands in the air and just like, thank you. Because my father, you know, I was just thinking about him as like, got this, you know. It's, wow, we did it. Like, what a comeback. And that's resurrected my career. I think that now I have a newfound focus where I'm just so driven to train, to stay on my game, and I have a belief that I can win shows without question. And then I want to be at the top of Olympia. I don't want to just go in there and just say I made the Olympia. Now I'm like trying to get to the top. I mean, I'm thinking like, why not? You know, you have every bit of ability as everybody else. You stick to your game, you bring in your package, and you can do this. And now the confidence is overwhelming, and I just got to keep striving to bring in the best perfect package of Troy Alves. And I think that will get me to winning more shows and being a top Olympian. That happened because, crazy enough, my parents had got divorced, and my dad came out here, and my brother and I came out here with my dad, and then my mom ended up coming a year and a half later, and she moved out here, and we stayed with my dad. Initially, when we came out, my brother and I, we even had new brothers and sisters. He remarried, and it's just kind of like, I love the story. My mom was determined to get my dad back, and she had my sisters, and we eventually, my brother and I ended up moving back with my mom. My dad ended up divorcing her, and he used to come over to see us all the time at the house, and they just kept getting like close together. I didn't pay much mind to it, but they ended up getting back together after he had remarried, and I think it's 3 to 4 years later, maybe 5 years, and they were together, the best marriage ever, for the next 20-something years. You know, it was like just a tremendous story and determination on my mom's part to get them back. And Phoenix has now been my home since I was 9. And yeah, there's other places I would think about living. For one, it's too expensive in San Diego. That's probably the only place I really would think about, like, it's in my head, like, I would like to live there. But I like Phoenix. I don't like the heat, but I can always go to LA, to the beach, San Diego. And it's dry, and the cost of living is good, and my lifestyle is perfect because I'm not a party person, and it's just more settled down type of style, and I love it. It's just like, I don't think I'll ever go anywhere, so I'm good here.
Cool. Bodybuilding.
That's tough. That's tough. I didn't realize how difficult it would be. You know, you jump into something, just like I didn't realize how difficult bodybuilding would be. But, you know, you take chances. The hard thing about it is, first of all, trying to find a staff, trying to get everything coordinated, trying to figure out a system on how to manage the store. And then you have to make time for yourself still with bodybuilding. You have to still train. You still have to eat your meals. Have to do everything you're supposed to do on top of that. But it was tough at the beginning. What helped me, another thing that helped me going into that show in April, is I got one of my good friends that was having trouble in his life financially. He came to me and asked for the job, and I said, you know, I can't just have you for a couple months. He's like, no, I'm in with you for sure. And he came in and he had just this energy, you know, because he was the owner of a business himself. And he took it over like pretty much like it was his. And that just like took a weight off my shoulders, a major weight off my shoulders. And then it just allowed me to really focus on the show. So having him there has been a tremendous help to my bodybuilding success, because he's the one that just said, I got you, don't worry about it. And, you know, and he'll just make sure everything's done. And it still takes time, because you got to go in there, you got to figure out the hours to give them breaks, you got to still make your orders and make sure stuff's in the store, still got to go out and market and everything else. It's difficult, but it works. You know, nothing's too difficult. I just still look at it and say it's a blessing that I have it, you know, and it was a gift to be able to have something with my name on it. So I manage. That was, I got out of the service and I was in the gym just training, like I always did, working on my upper body, not training any legs. And people kept saying, like, if you do a show, you do pretty good. You got a good physique. Yeah, you gotta do is you start working your legs. I was like, you know, I thought about it, and I knew I couldn't play baseball, and I love being competitive guy. And I don't remember the name of the person, but there was a few people in the gym that just kept kind of like pushing me to just kept talking about it. And I didn't even diet for my first show. I didn't diet at all. And I remember the night before the show, I was at a Cardinals game drinking beer. And I had no clue whatsoever what it was all about. And I went and did this all-natural classic and took second and looked pretty good. And people thought I looked really good and said that, you know, again, if you just work your legs a little bit more, you could be really good at this. And it wasn't like a little bit after that, Carlos, my guy that works at my store, said, you got it. You know, you got genetics that can take you far in the sport. I was like, really? He was like, yeah, I'm telling you, because he had been around the sport, and he said that I had it. You know, I had that special gift. And that's when I started kind of getting into it a little bit after that first bug of getting on there and a little speedo, nervous as can be, like posing like, oh my God, they're gonna look at me down there, like, oh, you know, scared to death. But you know, I made it through that panic stage, and then never got the fire for it. I enjoyed it. I love the competitive side, but until I just kept doing well, you know, without really knowing what the heck I was doing. And so it just turned out, as I kept getting better as far as placings, it got me a little bit more enthusiastic about it. You know, I remember looking at the magazine. I liked Sean Ray's physique and Kevin Larone and Flex Wheeler. those are the guys that I always looked right away and knew. Even Lee Labrada, I was drawn to them from anyway. So it's like, yeah, I guess you're drawn to what your body is, even though I didn't even really know what my body was. So anyway, I just kept having success and got a little bit more serious about it. And then all of a sudden, I'm on a national level. I was like, oh, maybe I'm pretty good at this thing. And started getting a little bit more serious until all of a sudden I can turn pro. Like, wow, now I can turn pro. Okay, now I got to really take this to another level. And that's how it happened. I guess I think it's more difficult for people that put their life into it. Like, this is their only dream, is to be a pro bodybuilder. I feel for them, because I can only imagine how difficult that is, and how much pressure and everything else to try to live every moment for it at that particular time in your life when you don't have anything coming back from it. That's difficult. So I was fortunate that it never was my world. I still worked. I was doing all the personal training as I was training, as I was getting for shows, working 8 hours a day, training people. I knew that was my livelihood, and then bodybuilding was a bonus. So anyway, long story short, that's where it came from. I don't know. I mean, I seriously was thinking about it after that show at the Ironman, and I think I don't know. I have that fire right now. Well, as soon as I know that I don't have the desire again to get in there and beat myself up and train hard, what I like about where I'm at right now is I've learned that I don't have to go up 30 pounds, try to walk around big to impress anybody. So my preparation is so much easier now. I don't have to put a lot of strain on my body. I keep my body really healthy. I only go up over 10, 12 pounds, maybe 15 max over my contest weight. So it's not a lot of work now for me to get ready for a show and to prepare. I give my body plenty of rest. I don't take time off. I take time off as far as doing other things with my life outside of doing a show. So it's not a stress. So I think I can physically, God willing, go for a few more years, maybe 2-3 more years. I don't know if I would do it that long, but I think physically, mentally at this point, I can do 3 or 4 and still be competitive, because I feel like my skin hasn't been beat up because I haven't done that fluctuation of up and down with the such and weight gain, and I haven't beat my body down. So I feel like I'm getting better. I almost feel like this is like my time to shine now. So I do want to make the most of it. But I would say I probably won't be in it more than 3 years, maybe 2 to 3 max. As long as I'm successful, I'll stay in it. As soon as I start to go, if I fall back, I'm out. That's the mindset of staying in better shape. So now, when I come off a show, I still train the same. I just take my supplements, I keep my body clean, and I'm in the gym just like I'm getting ready for a show. So I still train just as hard. You feel all the aches and pains, but it's okay. And then I don't, again, allow myself to get too heavy. So I'm in good conditioning. And then when I start to go on my program to get ready for the show, my body responds extremely well, and I'm able to drop that little bit of body fat that I carry and actually build muscle into the show. So now my weight will be like 225, 230 off season, and I'll end up coming in, you go down a little bit, then you come back up, and I'm actually physically getting more lean muscle tissue as I'm going in the show and dropping the body fat. So by the contest time, I might change 1 to 2 pounds, but I change dimensions, and I'm actually putting on new lean muscle. So it could, like this particular show, I think what we're going to see is better overall conditioning with the glute hamstring, but you're going to see more development with the quads, a little bit more thickness in the chest, a little bit more shoulder development. It's because I actually allowed myself again to not get too heavy, and so my body's able to respond extremely well to my training and my supplementation to be able to put on size as I come in. When you get too heavy, you're always on the coming down stage. You know, you don't see your body, the muscle retention that you have, because you're too worried about trying to get that fat off and that extra water weight that you carry all puffy all year. So I don't have to worry about that. I just to see what's happening with my body. I know that I'm kind of flat going into my preparation, but I'm in shape, but the muscles aren't popping. But once I get done the program, everything starts to jump out at you. And it's like I'm physically changing my body. Still is, you know, it's still an ordeal. I kind of got it now, but I know I can get it better, you know, and it's just like, that's still my goal, is to get this like perfect look, top to bottom, complete body. I think the nemesis, why it was such a nemesis, is because I kept playing that game. Like, I would get bigger in off season, but as I got bigger, where would I hold my fat? I think I'm kind of like a woman in that sense. I hold it in my glutes and hamstrings. So I can go up to 250, look huge. Upper body would still be relatively lean. I'd still have abs, still have some striations on my chest, and still have detail on my back. But I'd have a chunk of cheese on the glutes and hamstrings. Like, I mean, a chunk of cheese. So what good did it do me to put all that weight on when the problem area, I made more of a problem area. So by doing that and then coming down, I'd have to work extra hard, and I think that I'm getting better, but I never allowed myself to really dig into the fat storage and really get deep into it and get rid of that excess. You know, it wasn't until I got smart and didn't have that extra fat on there. You know, now I knew what I had, how much I was carrying, and what it's going to take to get it down. And I was able to get it better and better each show. And when I look back, the best times I've had it were 2005 Ironman. The reason being is because I came off of that show with Olympia, and I remember going to South Africa to guest pose. I stayed in great shape out there, and then I got prepared, got with Chris at that particular time. It's the first time I worked with Chris. We had about a month and a half, 2 months to work together. And I didn't get that extra weight. And that was the best my glutes looked at to that date. You think I would have learned right then, but I didn't. I allowed myself to put that excess fat again. So now I know what the problem is, and I just can't allow that extra weight to get back there. And each time I stay leaner and leaner there, it's going to get deeper and deeper cuts. So that's why I feel like the best is yet to come. Before long, you're going to see the same kind of detail in the hamstring glutes as you do in my quads and everywhere else in my body. It's just a matter of time. You know, it's each show. That's why I know I'm going to get better and better and better, because I don't feel like I have a weakness with my upper body at all. And I think my quads are getting bigger and fuller, and I never have a problem with separation of my quads. So now the hamstring glute I'm starting to conquer, and each time is going to get deeper and deeper and deeper. And then I'm going to have that complete look. Every time you see me on stage, you're going to see conditioning top to bottom. So that's what I look forward to. That's why I know I can still compete for a while, because that's where I'm going to improve the most at. Joey's always been a good guy. He's been around for years. He's like, just always like, I think he always admired my physique, and like kind of just, I mean, from way back, he like just always would compliment me, and is kind of like, I think he wanted to like get that kind of physique for himself. And I never like paid much attention to it, but he always was a good person that was like, had my back no matter what. Anything I needed, whether he used to have a moving company, he would just like drop it on a dime to come help you. Like, just a good giving guy, you know. And he's always wanted to work out with me, always. But you know, his schedule, and I had training partners all the time, so we've never got a chance to really make it happen. And like a few months ago, believe it or not, we got together in the gym, and he was like, I didn't realize how important it was to him, but he was saying like, man, this is my dream, to be able to train with you, and you know, and just have that opportunity to change my body and just be able to have you as my mentor and this and that. You know, I don't think of it that way. I'm just thinking of it as a good guy that's just gonna come train with me, you know, and I don't see the impact that I have on other people until I hear it from him firsthand. But ideal partner, you know, he'll be there for you, as you've seen and that's who he is. There's nothing fake about how he helps. He just does that out of naturally being Joe. You know, just, you know, elbow in my back. You know, that's just him. That's just it's not even a second thought. That's how he is. And as far as doing anything for you, you need this, you need that. I'm going this place, Troy. You need anything? It's just that kind of guy. And we talk about that all the time. He's like, that's how he is with everybody he's around. It's just his character. But he's great for me as a training partner. I just hope that his schedule still allows him to be able to train with me for as long as possible, because I think we're going to make him better and he's going to make me better. You know, I don't believe in that you can't have a training partner that's not to your ability, that can't make you better. He can definitely make me better because he can push me and he's reliable and he's someone that's motivated and dedicated and wants to do better. So it's going to make me want to change and get better for myself too. So great partner and friend, great friend.
People want to know these things.
I never pay attention to it, Lee. I think they're pretty big, but I've always worn sweats. This is unusual for me to wear shorts, but you see they're big too and long. I don't like anything to stick on me as far as shorts. I hate the feel of shorts and coming down and your legs being free. Don't like it. For some reason I never got comfortable. Even the hot 115 degree heat, I always want sweats. And I like them baggy because I don't like them to be glued up on me tight or squeezing my butt. That's why I tease Joe all the time, because glued up on his butt is like, how do you breathe with those things? And so they're like double X's, and it's because my waist is so small, especially as I get ready for contests, they look even bigger. You know, they're not so bad. They used to be not so bad in off-season because I would always have the extra booty and an extra weight back there, so they'd fit the booty. But now, because I keep it smaller, they look like they're two people could fit in them, but I enjoy them. Thanks, Lee. They're comfortable for me. I think they probably know I'm a goofball, but I'm just they'll see in the video, like, I'm just goofy. You know, I'm really silly. I kind of remind myself, in a sense, of his personality, of Shaq. I'm the same kind of person. I don't know what it is to get older. I'm a kid. You know, I'm always a kid. I like to be silly. I like to make jokes. I like to play. And I like to play with the older women in the gym, as you see, the kids. I love the babies, the kids. I'm just a silly, giddy kind of guy, you know, and I don't think most people get I get the response from people around the world that Troy's a nice guy, very nice guy, but I don't think they really know how silly I am and how goofy I am. And I'm just a regular goofy guy that we can hang out at any time and have a good time and laugh, and you'll just think that, like, you know, I thought you would be different. No, I'm just like you. I'm just a clown at heart. So that's who I am. If people don't know that, they know now that I'm just a regular guy that likes to have fun and likes to be silly. Even like when I'm getting ready for a contest, we're all backstage at the Olympia, like, let's go, guys. You know, I'm just kind of crack jokes and get some energy in the guys, and they're sitting there like this, you know, just, yeah. Like, the far bar's over, let's go have some fun. They get irritated with me because I'm just like, you know, I don't have anything to stress about now. It's like, it's time to have fun. But that's the way it is for me, and that's the way it's always going to be. Just silly guy. Let me kiss him again for you. Not bad, huh? No, I just see, there's my silliness right there. Years ago I measured them, and it's been years. I measured them after workout. So they were pumped to the tilt. I did tries and buys after workout. We didn't squeeze the tape measure, but we wrapped it around at that time, blown up. They were like, at that particular time, it was 23 inches. But that's pumped. Tries and buys are pumped. So I would say, like right now, 21 something maybe. I don't know. I haven't measured him in I don't know how long since that time. So I don't know. I just look at it as an arm. All I look at is like, you know, it doesn't look that big to me, and I just look at it like, what can I do to balance it out? Not so much of what's the dimension, how big the arm is. I just think about like, I need more tricep just to fill it out to make it a more complete look. You know, the size has never been an issue on how it measured, because otherwise I'd probably keep a tape measure on it, but I couldn't tell you. It's not that important to me on what it measures. It's important to me how it looks. You know, that's what it's all about to me. Size is not an issue. You look at Sean Ray, didn't have the biggest arms in ever, but you never really noticed that they weren't that big. When you see him pose, he had a balanced arm. Tri and bi was flowed really well. And I bet his arms weren't even 20 inches, you know, but they still showed big. So it's never been anything that I paid much attention to, but I appreciate the compliment, but I couldn't tell you the size. I would guess probably 21 and a half, maybe. That's what I would guess. Probably a fireman. As crazy as that is. If I wasn't bodybuilding, I wasn't military, I would probably be a fireman. I like everything about it. You know, I like the getting out there, being on the fire truck, saving lives. Just being a part of that energy of that clan. You got a family type of atmosphere where you're with a group of people that you're connected to one to do a purpose and a job. I think that's almost like playing a sport, you know, like where you have a chemistry of a team. Now you have a chemistry of a group of hard workers that have the same goal in mind to better themselves and better, you know, help individuals or anybody in any type of need as far as what the job entitles you to.
That's cool.
Tremendously. Like, I think that's the main thing that's got me to this place. I think that, yeah, I'd like to be in church more, but my mind tells me there's only one reason that I'm having success, and there's only one reason that I have the gifts that I have. There's no other reason. It's from the man upstairs. And my father was a church-going person for years, and he just like he gave himself to God completely. I haven't reached that point yet, which I want to achieve more than anything, but I know that everything comes from him, and I think that you know, every night I especially now in the last 6 months, I thank him for everything I have. You know, I thank him for the gifts that he's given me and the opportunity that I have to be able to share with others and have the success that I am, the gifts that I have. And I just feel like every day, as long as I lead my life knowing that everything I get and achieve is because of him, that I'll continue to grow and be a better man. You know, like, and it allows me to keep a good state of mind now, as far as not too high, not too low, not thinking I'm any better than anybody else in any way, shape, or form. All it tells me is like, you've been given a gift to be able to be a pro bodybuilder, but there's other people that have given a gift to be a doctor or to be a professional athlete of any other sort, but you're still a person. You're still just like anybody else. You just happen to have the opportunity to be in the limelight, but you're no different than anybody else. So I think that helps me keep grounded too, to know where I stand and not to let this get to my head and think that I'm any better than anybody else. And I know that's because of him, and I always thank him for everything I have. A special talent. Oh, Lord.
Instrument?
Nothing. Nothing. I think my special talent really is just athletics. I mean, seriously, was pretty much good at everything, sport-wise. I think my special talent is that when I played any sport, I was good at it. I mean, very good at it. Like baseball, I was top athlete in baseball as far as getting a scholarship, and then bodybuilding. Everything seemed to come easy to me. Football, I just could jump on a football field and just had a gift. And believe it or not, I think that was the talent-wise, gift-wise, that was my true calling. I was just super talented as a running back, and that's a special gift. And I could just play any sport and just excel at it, And I think that's the only thing I can say is that's just my true gift. If I jumped into a sport and anything that is competitive-wise, I was always just had that nature to be good at it, and I guess I was driven to be good at it, and everything else as far as my goofiness, I don't know. I can't say I have any. I'm just nothing that's a special talent. A special talent of just being retarded. I think. I mean, I could just turn it up in a notch, and just be at a place where we're all just supposed to be in a location where we're supposed to act a certain way, and I could just turn it up and just make this retarded noise or start doing this crazy dance. And that's the thing I'm gifted at, is just being retarded and annoying. I'm sure it annoys the heck out of a lot of people, but they just learn to deal with. I think one of my pet peeves that my friends always tease me about is that I'm real picky when it comes to my dinnerware when I go out. I always seem to find fault with everything. Like the fork has a little spot on it, or has something on it, or a knife, or this glass looks like it has lipstick on it, or just a smooth, just pain in the butt kind of stuff. But that's the kind of stuff that I do that is annoying to others. I'm sure it is. They just got used to it, my friends. They just here we go with Troy. Just know you're going to have this. That's just me. I'll tell this quick story. I thought I was being set up, though, for one of those shows where they do the hidden camera thing. But this time it really wasn't a hidden camera, and it had to have been, because it was this. It was out of it was planned. It was there's no way this could be real. And these people just kept bringing me a dirtier fork every time. And I'm this can't be real. It's Dean, am I losing my mind, or what is going on here? He's I don't know. And it's look at this. I just gave him this fork back. They brought me back a dirtier fork. It's and then I tell them something, and they bring me back something different. This is this can't be real. He's no, this is real. This is it. And then it turned out to be that wasn't even the hidden camera part. That was we were just at a place where they were just that monotonous retarded, and they just kept trying to aggravate me for whatever reason, and kept sending me back stuff that I can complain about. So that's something that I bring to the table that I'm not too proud of, but that's part of me. That's who Troy is. Annoying as can be when it comes to going to dinner. That's it. Growing up, Michael Jordan. He was just, obviously we know how great it was, but it was his tenacity and his fire that to hated to lose, more than anything. He just refused to lose, and just would never give up, and just played with this energy and this desire that not many people play with. He didn't even have to get paid to play like that. He just loved it so much, and he was a good person. And then as I got older, I got to respect, and now even more so is my number one idol is Muhammad Ali. Because you didn't have appreciation for him as a kid. You knew he was a great fighter, but to do the things that he did, to stand up for his rights and his beliefs, is beyond sports. You know, he just, like, he was at the pinnacle of his career, at the twilight. He was the best of the best, but he believed in one thing and he was not going to give into it. And you know, that's what goes down as a history as like a man that not only changed lives in the way he did his sport, but as he did as humanitarian and as he did for his beliefs, you know, white and black. You know, he just believed that one way and he stood for his people, how he thought we should be treated and how things should be. And he didn't think about himself, you know, even though he could have just said, all right, I just want to get my career. No, he gave up the best years to stick to his point. Bodybuilding wise, I would say I just admired Sean Ray, and I hate to say it because he's a little knucklehead, but I love Sean Ray. I just like to mess with him all the time. We tease each other all the time. But I loved what he did as far as sticking to his game. You know, he knew what his strengths were. He knew what his body, what he can and couldn't do, couldn't do with his body. And he wasn't going to let anybody dictate where he was going with his body. He's not, you need to bring in different, you need to get a little bigger. Now, Sean knew that there was a limit to how big he can get, and he just always kept on trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Clean up his body in a sense of trying to refine it. It's for detail and bring in those intricate details that were more important than size, because he knew if he got that crisp look, that detailed look, it would make him change his body. He would look different on stage. And you look at over his years, he fluctuated between 205, 206 to 212. And he never went above that, and he tried it once and he didn't look as good, and it was his lesson learned. But he stuck to his game, and that's what I've done my whole career. You know, I never got caught up in thinking that I had to be a certain size, even though people kept sticking in their head, like, but the judges never said it to me. People always like, you gotta get bigger, bigger, bigger. No, it's like I just knew that I was too vain in the sense of my waist. I knew that that was my strong point. You know, that if I lost that, I lost my physique. I'm not competitive anymore. So I knew that there's only a certain limit to how much size I can put on without sacrificing my aesthetics and my shape, and I wasn't going to go beyond that. So that's what I admired about him, is his gut and his determination to stay within himself and stay true to who he was. And that's what I've tried to do as an amateur and as a pro. And then I try to tell others to stick to their own body and their own peace of mind. Cool guy. Cool guy. Real as can be. True to who he is. Doesn't care what you have to say. He's going to speak his mind. I respect that very much. Obnoxious. Thought he was better than he was, and didn't give anybody else respect. Loved him, especially the more I know about him now. Just had charisma, and he just changed the sport. He made the sport because he loved bodybuilding, and he just made it exciting for everyone to be a part of, and just had a charisma like no other. He was the Muhammad Ali of boxing, the Michael Jordan of basketball. Arnold was the guy for bodybuilding. He made bodybuilding. It's a great comparison. That's like, it's another one that I always admired. Who did Frank Zane? He never tried to be anybody outside of who Frank Zane was. And he just knew how to show his body in a way that present himself and made you have to look at him. You know, he wasn't the biggest guy, but he was respected and appreciated, and you just admired what he presented on stage and who he was as a man. Legend, just true ambassador. Didn't have the charisma of Arnold, but did everything else for Arnold, just kind of like out of the spotlight, and continues to give back to the sport in every way to help others and the sport in general. Made us, without them there is no sport. Love them or like them, they are the leaders, and they are the reason that we have a sport today, and you got to have the respect for that. Oh, we're gonna go visit her soon. She's my world. You think I'm too young to be a grandfather, and I just told my daughter she can't call me anything, no grandpa. But now that she's around, she can call me whatever she wants. She's just my pride and joy. When you see her and she watch how mean she is to me, you can tell that I just have like crazy love for her, because she is mean to me, and I love it.